Hey guys, it's that guy again. Thank you for clicking on the video, joining me for a little bit of time. I want to talk about my EDC carry pistol. This is the firearm that I carry on me all the time. Talk about why I carry it, why I prefer this firearm, why I prefer this caliber. First off, as you can see, Smith & Wesson SD 40 VE. Very, very, very good gun. Now, first thing you're going to say is, that guy, why are you going with the SD 40 Smith & Wesson's budget model? Okay. Simply because it works. I like the firearm. I like how the firearm feels in my hand. It's very comfortable. And it's reliable. I can't give you an exact number of the rounds that I've put through this firearm, but I can give you the exact number of malfunctions I've had. 0. I put upwards to 1,000 rounds through the gun so far. Probably more than that. Not had a single issue with feeding, ejecting, anything. The gun is so reliable, and surprisingly so, seeing that I bought the gun new at Academy for $300 plus tax. But when I went to Academy and I was looking for a carry gun, I was actually looking at a Diamondback 380, which, if any of you know what that is a very small pocket pistol that looks a lot like a Glock. And I happened to see someone else looking at this gun, which they did not have in the display, and asked about it. And when they got the gun out and told me the price and I handled it, I fell in love. Just the way that the gun handles, the way the grip feels in my hand. I have somewhat small hands. My hands aren't large, but I can get a good grip on this firearm. It does have the 3-dot sights, which I have replaced the front. It had the white inserts, and I know once I take this off the pin, I'm one-handed, I'm not going to be able to get it back on, but that's okay. Let's move that out of the way. As you can see there, that front sight is green, and I actually did that on purpose. That way I can have some contrast between the front and the rear sights. That's just personal preference, no real specific reason other than that. All that is acrylic paint that I have dripped in there with a toothpick, and it works really, really well. As you can see, polymer frame, no external safeties on either side. It does have this trigger system here, somewhat like a Glock, whereas they've got the trigger within a trigger. This is just kind of a 2-part trigger. Makes it really hard for it to accidentally go off. I do carry it hot. I always keep one in the chamber. Magazines hold 14, and of course with one in the chamber that makes 15. I do like the Picatinny rail. I don't have anything on it as of yet. I don't want a lot on it with me carrying it every day. Just me, personal preference. I know a lot of guys do like the tactical lights on their guns that they carry every day, and I can see why. I can understand the reasoning. I just don't really have a need for it, seeing that I always have a light in my left pocket. But the option is there if I choose to do so. If I choose to make this the home defense or the truck gun, I can always put a light on there, and you know, that'd be a different story. But as of right now, I don't have anything on the rail. If you look above the trigger, just forward of the trigger, you see those indentions. I really like that because it gives you a good place to put your finger. You always know where to put your finger off the trigger if you have any issues with that, which I've never had that issue. I've always been mindful of my finger placement. I just do like the idea of those impressions. Now, spare mags. It did come with a spare mag. I don't usually carry a spare magazine. Not because I don't think it's a good idea or anything like that. It's just with everything else that I carry, and with as large as these magazines are, because this is 14 rounds of 40 caliber in this magazine, so it's not small. With as large as these magazines are, it's cumbersome for me to carry an extra magazine. Now, occasionally I will. If I'm wearing cargo pants, cargo shorts, something of that nature, if I'm actually carrying a bag with me that day, I'll throw my spare mag in the bag. That way it's not actually on my person, but it's within reach. So there are times when I do carry a spare mag, but usually if I'm walking around town in my blue jeans, I don't really have a lot of extra room. I don't like a lot of stuff on my belt, or I would get a belt, a mag pouch for one of them, but I don't really like stuff on my belt, so I don't usually carry it. But not knocking the guys who do. Now this is 15 rounds. Some say that's not sufficient, others say that it is. Considering that most of your smaller pocket pistols like your LCP, LC9, Diamondback, all of those smaller pistols, they usually hold about 6 rounds. 15 is a pretty good amount. Your 1911s, they only hold 7 in 1, unless you get a different magazine, and you might have 8 in 1. It's still quite a bit of ammo. But like I said, I'm not knocking the guys who carry extra mags. Occasionally I'll do it. Normally I will run Spear gold dots. I'm a big fan of the gold dot. I like them. No particular reason other than they've always worked, and I have watched many ballistic gel tests on different rounds, and I like the way these perform. You know, not knocking Hornady, not knocking any of those other rounds. I'm sure they're great rounds, but I favor the gold dot. How I carry it is usually inside the waistband. I have, at this point, 2 choices. I have this Allen leather inside, outside the waistband holster. I can do either or. Usually this is inside the waistband, and it does carry very low when I use this. So it's easy to conceal in this, but usually when I carry inside the waistband, I just use the Black Hawk. Actually, Uncle Mike's. This one's my Uncle Mike's size 5. It works, you know. It's comfortable. It keeps the gun from getting sweaty because, you know, I live in Alabama and it gets hot. Stainless steel guns, if you're not careful, they'll rust up on you. When you sweat on them all the time, it could cause some issues if you're not real careful. This protects my gun from the sweat. Could I buy a better holster? Yes. Will I buy a better holster? Probably. But right now, I'm pretty comfortable with this. I can pull it out of the holster very quickly, very easily. Not so much reholstering, but withdrawing the firearm is not a problem. I do live in Alabama, and the county that I live in Alabama is pretty friendly to open carry. So occasionally I will open carry my firearm. I've never had an issue open carrying. I'm actually in an open carry group called Bama Carry. If you live in Alabama, check them out. Great group. But I'm in an open carry group which kind of encourages people to take advantage of their Second Amendment rights to bear arms, and it's great. But usually I carry concealed just because I'm more comfortable carrying concealed, and you don't have as many, how do I put it, you don't have the potential for issues as much concealed carrying as far as open carry, because admit it or not, people freak out. And on top of that, I'm very active in my church. I'm a youth leader, Sunday school teacher, a preacher, especially if I go to church or church functions, which half the time during the week I'm at one. I carry concealed because I don't want to carry open in a church. You know, I don't know anybody that wouldn't understand that. But this is my firearm. This is what I prefer to carry. I'm very comfortable with this gun. I trust my life and the life of my family to this gun without hesitation. My wife can fire this gun. It's very simple to operate, very easy to operate, very accurate, very, very reliable. Why do I choose the .40 caliber? It's just a good round, you know. I don't mind 380s. 380s are a good round if you've got good shot placement. 9mm are a good round. A little bit too much penetration for me sometimes, but 9mm is a great round. 45 is a great round. 38 special, 357, on and on and on. If you practice with your rounds, you know your firearm, pretty much anything can be a great round. Well guys, I hope you enjoy the video. I encourage you to look into the laws of your state to see what they say about concealed carry or open carry. Take advantage of your Second Amendment rights. Take advantage of the ability to protect yourself and others by carrying a firearm, and get out there and do it. It's fun. It makes you feel better. Firearms aren't supposed to be comfortable. They're supposed to be comforting. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you next time.